For the divine feminine experiencing the painful paradox of her twin flames' withdrawal, the question is a heart-wrenching mantra. Why does he run from a connection that feels like home? Conventional wisdom speaks of fear and unhealed wounds, and while true, this only scratches the surface. The flight of the divine masculine is not a simple rejection of love, but a complex spiritual emergency rooted in specific, rarely discussed ego structures. To understand this is to shift from a narrative of personal rejection to one of sacred process. His retreat is often a terrified response to the sheer power of the mirror you hold, a mirror that threatens to dismantle the very foundations of his constructed self. Let's explore two of the most profound, yet overlooked, ego battles he undergoes. So, let's talk about him, the one who looked at you, his mirror, his twin flame, and saw something so terrifying he felt he had to build a wall between your hearts. You've been told it's fear, and it is, but not the kind you think. It's not the fear of your love. It's the fear of image he has of himself, crumbling to dust in the face of that love. Imagine a man who has spent years, perhaps a lifetime, carefully constructing an identity as a spiritual person. He's the one who can quote the Tao Te Ching, who has a practiced calm, who sees the illusion in the material world. His ego, you see, didn't build a fortress of money or power. That would be too obvious. No, his ego did something far more clever, far more insidious. It built a fortress of light. It told him, you are awake, you are healed, you are the conscious one. He climbs this mountain of his own making every day, sits in the pristine silence of his meditation, and looks down upon the world of drama and attachment, feeling a sense of hard-won peace. Then you arrived, you, the divine feminine, with your radiant, messy, gloriously human heart. You don't just love him, you see him, and your sight is not the admiring gaze from the foot of his mountain. It's an X-ray. It's a frequency that passes straight through the elegant stained glass windows of his spiritual persona and illuminates the dusty, forgotten basement where the unhealed child is still trembling. That child he thought he'd spiritually transcended with mantras and mindfulness. Your very presence, your unconditional acceptance, becomes the ultimate threat. Why? Because it doesn't demand that he come down from the mountain. Oh no, it's far more disruptive than that. It validates the child in the basement. Your love whispers a terrifying truth. You are worthy, even with this unfinished part. And his ego, the spiritualized ego, screams in protest. No, I am not that. I am the mountain. I am the peace. To be with her, I must admit, I am also the chaos, the need, the fear. I must admit, I am not yet whole. So what does he do? He doesn't get angry. He doesn't fight. That would be too human, too undignified. He transcends. He pulls the oldest trick in the spiritual bypasser's book. He rationalizes his retreat with the very language of the path itself. He'll say the connection is too karmic, or that he needs space for his soul's mission, or that the intensity is a divine test of detachment. He will use the vocabulary of awakening to perform the most profound act of sleeping. He will run from the one thing that could truly make him whole, all while convincing himself he is running toward a higher truth. the greatest irony, the punchline the universe is waiting for him to get, is that the very work he thinks he must do alone can only be done in the crucible of the connection he's fleeing. He's like a man who has read every book on swimming, who can lecture on fluid dynamics and the philosophy of water, but when finally placed in the ocean of your love, he panics. Because the books didn't mention the salt, the waves, the terrifying and exhilarating loss of control. So he gets out, shivering, and declares the ocean itself to be too wet, failing to understand that the ocean is the only teacher that truly matters. This isn't about you. Please let that sink into the core of your being. His retreat is a measure of your power, not your lack. You are the living embodiment of a truth his soul recognizes, but his ego cannot yet integrate. That true spirituality isn't about rising above the human experience, but about descending fully into it with courage, with grace, and with a heart willing to be broken open again and again until it remains forever open. And the most beautiful, maddening, and hilarious part of this whole divine comedy, the very moment he stops running from that basement within himself, the very moment he embraces the terrified child he locked away, he will find that the mountain and the valley were never two different places at all. But that leads us to the second, even deeper layer of this sacred dance. The part where he isn't just running from his own shadow, but from a cosmic role he feels utterly unprepared to play. Let's pull back the curtain even further, past the personal spiritual facade and into the grand, echoing theater of archetypes. You see, this connection isn't just a relationship, it's a soul-level casting call for a divine play. And he, the divine masculine, has just read the script for his part. The role, the king, the sacred container, the pillar, and his first, most human, most ego-driven response is a sheer, paralyzing terror that whispers one devastating sentence: I am not enough for this. This isn't about being enough for you. Let's just set that beautiful worry down for a moment. This is about him standing at the edge of his own being, looking into the cosmic job description for a divine masculine in union, and having what can only be described as a full soul system crash. He intuitively knows what is required. He is meant to be the steady, calm shore to your magnificent and powerful ocean. He is meant to provide the sacred space, the structure, the coherence, the grounded energy in which your divine feminine energy can flow, create, feel, transform, and bloom without drowning the world or itself. He is meant to be the architect of a shared reality, holding the blueprint with steady hands. But here's the tragic, beautiful, and utterly human miscalculation. He looks at his own internal state, a toolkit he perceives as filled with rusty, broken, or entirely missing tools, and he decides, with the flawed logic of the ego, that he must already be the perfected king before he can even step onto the stage with you. He believes he needs to have built the entire castle alone in a vacuum and then present it to you, move-in ready. The pressure is astronomical. It's like a stagehand who's been suddenly thrust into the role of Shakespeare's Henry V, handed the crown, and expected to deliver the once more unto the breach speech while he's still figuring out how to pronounce St. Crispin's Day. The spotlight feels like an interrogation lamp. So what does he do? He doesn't just get cold feet. He feels the whole floor of the theater turn to ice. His retreat is not a rejection of you, my love. It is a frantic, desperate, and ultimately misguided attempt to go back to the workshop to forge himself into the king he believes you deserve. He's pushing you away to protect the idea of the union from the perceived catastrophe of his current, unkingly self. He thinks it is more honorable to flee and become worthy than to stay and be found lacking. He is trying to spare you the mess of his construction site, not understanding that the most sacred act of union is to build the castle together, with the messy, real-time, sometimes clumsy collaboration of two souls. The magic isn't in the finished palace, it's in the shared laying of every brick, the mixing of the mortar with your combined tears and laughter. He's like a man given the seeds for 1,000-year forest, but because he doesn't see a fully grown oak tree in his hands right now, he decides he's unworthy of the soil. He fails to grasp the first law of sacred growth, that the seed and the forest are one. The journey is the destination. His worthiness isn't a prerequisite to be earned in isolation. It is revealed layer by layer in the very act of showing up imperfectly, day after day, with you by his side. His running is, in its own twisted way, a form of our devotion. A broken, backwards, painful devotion, but devotion nonetheless. It's the ego's last, grand stand against the vulnerability of co-creation. He would rather be alone and dream of a future perfection than be with you in the present, glorious imperfection. But the universe, in its infinite wisdom, doesn't let him off the hook that easily. The work he thinks he must do alone can only be completed by the alchemical reaction that occurs when his incomplete structure meets your flowing essence. The king is not crowned in solitude. He is anointed by the presence of the queen who sees his sovereignty even when it's still hidden from himself. And this, beautiful soul, is where your own journey transcends waiting and becomes the most powerful force for healing in this entire dynamic. But that is a revelation for another day, a key that unlocks not his door, but your own freedom. So here we are, you and I, at the edge of the map. We've navigated the intricate labyrinths of his spiritualized ego, sat in the vast, empty theater of his archetypal stage fright. We've named the ghosts in his machine, and now the most critical question of all whispers forth from the silence. What do you do with all this understanding? Understanding, my dear, is not a cage to trap your hope in. It is the very thing that sets you free. Free from the endless loop of questioning your worth. Free from the corrosive narrative that you are too much or not enough. This knowledge is the gentle hand that uncurls your fingers from the tight fist of expectation, allowing you to finally, and without fear, open your palms to the sky. See, your journey now makes a profound and beautiful pivot. It ceases to be about deciphering his movements and becomes about deepening your own resonance. His running was never a problem for you to solve. It was an invitation for you to expand. While he is in the workshop of solitude, mistakenly trying to build a throne from the splintered wood of his old self, you are being called to a different task entirely. You are being invited to become the living embodiment of the very kingdom he dreams of, not through force, not through waiting, but through the radical, revolutionary act of sovereign self-occupation. Imagine your own energy as a frequency, a specific, unique, divine frequency. For a time, your signal was tangled with his static, the static of his fear, his confusion, his retreat. It created dissonance, a painful feedback loop in your own soul. Your work now, your sacred mission, is to clear your own channel, to tune your own instrument so exquisitely that it plays the music of your soul, regardless of whether anyone is in the audience to hear it. This isn't about moving on. It's about moving so deeply into yourself that you discover the entire universe is already there, waiting for you. His journey is his soul's curriculum. Your peace is yours. And the most astonishing alchemy occurs when you truly, unconditionally focus on your own syllabus. Your unwavering peace, your unshakable joy, your commitment to your own life lived in full color. This becomes a silent, powerful beacon. It is not a lure designed to pull him back. That would be the old energy of lack. It is a lighthouse, standing firm on the shore of your own being, emanating a truth so clear it cannot be ignored. Here is what wholeness looks like. Here is what safety feels like. Here is love embodied. He is not being called to complete you. You're already a whole sentence, a stunning paragraph, a captivating story. He is being called in his own time and in his own way to step into the narrative of his own life with the same courage you are demonstrating in yours, so that one day your stories can merge not out of need, but out of a magnificent, overflowing abundance. This path is not a passive waiting room. It is the most active creation of your life. It is you planting a garden in your own heart, not knowing if he will ever come to see its beauty, but learning to adore the scent of the flowers for yourself. And in that adoration, you become the garden. You become the love you sought. And in that becoming, you have already arrived at the destination, union or not. For true union was always an inside job with glorious external consequences. And the most thrilling part, this inner shift you're making, this quiet revolution of the self, doesn't just rewrite your story. It subtly, powerfully recalibrates the entire magnetic field of your connection. But how that unfolds is a mystery that deserves its own conversation, one about the silent language of synchronicity and the surprising ways the universe conspires to close the circle.